9 times, if not 10 times out of 10, us men gonna like a natural body over a fake body any day. Now you might say, oh, but these guys are dating girls with BBLs, and those guys are just having a fun time for right now.
Hello, and welcome back to this week's episode of Yip to My App. I'm Sir Erica Starr, and today I'm here with
Ryan.
And today we are talking about dating, but this time more specifically in the fitness space. So let's just get into it with our first question. When someone finds out you're a personal trainer, what do they immediately assume about you?
Oh, man. People seem to automatically think I'm some kind of male thought. Like I work a male thought job. And it's real interesting because like, what? Like what makes you think that? Like, oh, you get all girl clients, don't you? Like, I mean, yeah, because most people that hire personal trainers are females.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, hey, I can't help what I do.
So do you feel like having a fit physique becomes part of your dating resume, whether you want it to or not?
When you say part of my dating resume, are you talking like how people look at me for dating or how I look at others for dating?
Let's do both.
Okay, so if I would want to date somebody who's fit, in other words, okay, so that's usually what I would like, since us fit people, we tend to go with other fit people. You don't often see like somebody fit with someone not so fit. So I guess in my dating resume, I would preferably go that way. You don't always have to be that way if you look good already.
Mm-hmm.
But that's generally what I would lean towards. And I feel like for women who are fit with their physique, do they want somebody who's also fit? Yeah, I can say that because I know plenty of people in the fitness space who are women that they do want somebody who's equally as fit, if not more fit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could agree. I mean, that's something that I've always said for as long as I've even been going to the gym. Because even when I started, like I wasn't fit by any means. I mean, I was slim, but that's not fit. And I've had conversations with old friends and stuff where I would tell them like, oh, like this is when I was single and I was, oh, like my dream guy, this or whatever. Like he goes to the gym and he keeps up with himself. And I remember it was an old guy friend of mine. And he was not the most fit. He was like a pudgy dude, but like that's just how he lived, and that was on him. He liked his cookies, whatever. But like he would tell me like, oh, like your standards are way too high. Like, what do you mean? Like you're gonna find someone who's gonna be willing to fucking hike with you and shit when you're like, in your 50s. I'm like, yeah. I was like, why not? I was like, because if I want to, then clearly there's a man out there who might want to. And until I find them, like I'm chill. And he was just like, oh, that's like, you're creeping into like unattainable territory. Like that's a bit much. And I was just like, okay, you live in your world and I live in mine, but I think I'm okay with these standards. Do you think it's fair for someone who's like extremely fit to date someone who isn't, even though that's a standard of theirs and has this motive to make them fit into their mold eventually? 'Cause I feel like a lot of people do that.
Yeah, I would say that. Like everybody who's fit, who dates somebody who isn't fit, we want you to be fit with us. That's just
Yeah,
how
but
it
is
is.
that healthy?
I would say yeah, because if you are fit, that's because you know all about health and fitness and wellness. Like you subscribe to that for a reason because you see how beneficial
Yeah,
it
but
is
healthy
for
for the relationship.
I would say yeah.
I would say be with someone who's already there,
Be with somebody.
who
I mean,
also
yeah,
has the
true.
personality.
Yeah, absolutely. But you can also be the reason why that person that you're with joins that world of fitness. And they can see that it's better for them. And when it becomes better for them, it now becomes better for the both of you two. Because now you two are also in sync. You're in tandem with how you're living your life. Now your diet's changing, your routine is changing. You're being more about your self-love, your self-discipline. And that only is going to like seep into everything else in a relationship in a positive and healthy way. Because sometimes if you're not caring about your health, if you're being negligent to yourself, it could track onto other things in your life too. And that can negatively affect the relationship. So when you're just working in tandem and synchrony with things like that, if you're on the same page, you can't really expect negative things to happen. Like I've been a part of this, so I'm speaking from experience.
I don't know, you're losing me a little bit because the way you're speaking, it kind of sounds like your personal trainer in you is like kicking in the sense of like, like I look like this, we could look like this kind of thing. And it's like, what if that's not that person's motive like at all? Like what if they're just chill the way that they are? Like that's what I mean when I say like what if that person is just really happy with themselves and how they look and stuff, and then you wanting them to be fit is like, yeah, but you should be doing this. Like, can that, screw up a relationship, or like, is it even worth even having?
I think ultimately that decision ends up with the person who is the fit one. If you want to continue being with somebody who is okay with being how they are already, or do you see yourself with somebody who is fit? And because if it's that way, I would say like you as a person who's fit, you're doing yourself a disservice by continuing to be in something that you know that this person doesn't want to be in. But if you're okay with it, and you're okay with it. Everybody's harmonious. You're cool. Like that's fine. Everybody likes what they like. If you're okay with your person not being as fit as you, that's completely fine. But from my experience, from what I know, like a lot of people, as you know, a lot of fit people like to be with fit people. That's just what
Yeah.
it is.
Okay.
But there's no problem though. There's no problem. Like, you date who you want to date. You date who you want
The
to date.
disclaimer at the end.
Disclaimer.
Okay, so we're gonna step into the world of attention, ego, and temptation. So, is temptation within the fitness space constant or exaggerated?
Temptation in the fitness space is most definitely, it's there. It's there. If you're a single man or woman, or like myself, a personal trainer who's always watching the gyms, you can see, it's like you're watching reality television happen in front of you. And even if it involves yourself, you're going to see, and I see it every day, every other day, and it's funny. It's really like something you could whip out popcorn and just watch. If you just like at the front desk or the PT table, you're just watching people like mingle and all that, and you see, and it's crazy too because a lot of these people, men and women, will be in the gym with their partner and still be like looking at other people who are just as, if not more attractive than their partner. And you can see like the temptation there. And it's crazy. It's really crazy to see, like, didn't you just come in with your man or your girl like 5 minutes ago and you're already staring at this person over there? That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie to you, that's crazy. So temptation, you can't really, like, it's not exaggerated. It's what it is. It exists. I see it. I've been through it myself. When you are in a space in which people are minimally clothed and working out hard and they get a pump and they looking their best, because let's keep it real, in the gym, it's also like a fashion show. It's not like how it was before. People love dressing a certain way, showing a lot of skin and just trying to be as fashionable as possible.
Or as naked as possible.
Or that part, that part, you're going to deal with a lot of temptation. And if you are one of those people in a relationship and you're facing temptation, now it's like how well kept are your morals? Are you still gonna be faithful, just look away when you see something like that? You don't want to get yourself in no problems? Or are you, I would like to say weak-minded and like, you gonna kind of mess up what you got going on because of that temptation. So that's what I got to say on that.
Yeah, I was going to say that because at first I was going to say it's exaggerated, but honestly it's subjective to the person, which makes the temptation constant. Because like temptation is just, like you said, it's just a bunch of minimally clothed people with their pump, people like, testosterone's high, women are just, looking everywhere because they can. Like, and that also goes into like just not stereotypes, like, I guess like ethics at the gym. Because I feel like if a guy's looking too long, it's a problem. If a girl's looking too long, it's like, hey, But yeah, I think it's subject to the person because like, even if I look around my gym, like, yeah, there's like a bunch of fit men, but I have this thing, I call them like boyfriend eyes that I get every time I'm in a relationship. And it's just like, I don't know, if I like what I have, like I can't look at anyone with lustful eyes. Like, yes, I can have like celebrity crushes or whatever, like, just little stupid stuff. But it's like, I can't like look at someone at the gym and be like, oh my God, like I wish I had, like what? Like my brain doesn't even go there. But that's, it goes back to like your morals, beliefs and all that, just like how you are in a relationship and stuff. So yeah, like, just to reiterate what you said, the temptation is there. It's just more a matter of like, can you be tempted? I think that's what it is. And if you can, then that's a problem. Next question is, do you think men in fitness spaces struggle with ego when dating someone equally attractive or equally fit or both?
I would say for the most part, no, but I'm not ruling it out entirely because there are guys like that that are like very egocentric, very like narcissistic, and they cannot deal with women being equally, if not more attractive than they are. They always want to have the one up on their person. Like, I'm the star of the show. Like, only I can be this good looking and get all this attraction and attention towards me. Like, that's not really common in the male space, but it is possible. I've seen it. And it's like, to me, I find it kind of corny. Like, man, why are you in a competition with your person?
Yeah.
Like, y'all supposed to be a team, not in competition against one another. Like, to me, that's whack. that's real whack. I'm sorry. Matter of fact,
Yeah.
I'm not sorry. That's whack. Like, come on, bro. That's corny. Like, that's your girlfriend. It's not like some regular person. And plus, bro, like, you competing with a female, come on now. Like, if you competing against another man, that's one thing. But you comparing yourself with a female who's attractive too, like, come on, dog. It's two different worlds.
Yeah. I think it's like, at least in their head, the equivalent to like, like, I don't like that my woman makes more money than me. I feel like it's like that kind of thing where it's just like, she just can't do better anywhere. And it's just like,
No. I understand from a male's perspective, like, we have the expectation of being a provider and making the more money and all that. But, we're in a different day and age. It's possible for some women, to have more money than the partner. Like, for example, the GOAT of football, my sport, right? Tom Brady. He's known as the greatest football player to play the game of football, or the greatest quarterback. His wife is a supermodel who made more than him. Nobody batted an eye on that. So, like, that's the point here. Sometimes we're in a different day and age in which you can be with a woman who makes more. You know what I mean? So I don't think that's something to be jealous about, because, again, that's your person. It's not it's your person. So, like, you guys should be working in tandem as a team, as a unit, as a we, as an us. You know what I mean? So you shouldn't be caring about, oh, she makes 100,000, you make 70,000 a year. It's like, man, that's both coming to you guys. You know what I mean? It's not going anywhere else.
yeah. And I feel like you should be in healthy competition with your partner, because even thinking back to like, I was in relationships where, I was the partner who went to the gym and he didn't. And I remember there'd be times where it's like, we were still like in competition with one another in some kind of way where it was just like, oh, like, you're always at the gym and you're always doing this, and you care so much about your body, da 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 da. And in my head, I'm like, so I'm not motivating you at all to do better. Like, no party was like, I should go to. Like, I was hoping that I would evoke something like that in him. And it's just like, I feel like for some people, that's just not there. Like, if you just don't want it, you don't want it. So that's just to say that if your person likes going to the gym and you don't, start.
Start.
At least bare minimum start, because hating is going to get you nowhere. Like, enough. And once again, fighting with your woman because she wants to be fit and you don't. I don't know. I feel like if you just looked at it from the top, like just from like, like you're watching a movie, you'd be like, huh, what is his problem? And just leave
Right.
that.
I feel like for whoever it is, the male or the female, right? If one of the people there is fit and the other's not, it's like, at least compromise, right? Because we know relationships are all about compromise and sacrifice. And it's not always about you and what you want. It's also about what your partner wants. What they want to do is like, like us guys, we know if our girl wants to watch a chick flick, she know we don't want to watch that, but we still compromise and do it because that's what makes them happy.
Yeah.
So it's like in the other way around, if it's the guy who's a fit one and the girl's not so much, it's like, I like going to the gym. I like being fit. Me being fit is what attracted you to me to begin with, for the most part, right? So it's like, come see my world. Come be a part of my world. You don't have to be as deep in it as I am. Like, same way, I'm not going to be deep into chick flicks with you or deep into makeup with you, but I'll still make my due diligence to kind of, show some kind of interest in it and like support you in what you do. So, like, just reciprocate that with me, and vice versa. If it's the girl who's a fit one and the guy that's not so fit, it's important for both parties to get involved with what each other likes, your passions and all that.
So now let's get into discipline and how that bleeds into other aspects of life, but more so like on the opposing end. Can someone be disciplined in fitness but avoidant in love?
I like that question. I would say, yeah, that's possible. That is possible, because although they are similar, right? Avoidant in love, but disciplined in fitness. Both of which require, discipline, both of which require dedication, commitment. But one of them requires expectations, right? A relationship, in love, yes, you got to be consistent, dedicated, and committed and all that. But your person is always going to have some kind of expectation from you. Whereas fitness doesn't hold you to that same regard. It's like it's either you're dedicated and committed and you get results and that's it. It doesn't expect you to do anything. It doesn't
You're not
expect
in
you to
trouble
hold
if you
an
have an
image.
off day.
You're not in trouble if you have an off day. You know what I mean? You're not going to get judged. The gym is not going to leave you. It's not going to break up with you. It's not going to break your heart. It's still going to be there. It's
Yeah.
not going to, it's judge free, judgment free. In love, it requires a lot. Like you have to put so much of your time, effort, and dedication into it. And there's always going to be an expectation from the moment you enter that relationship to the moment it either ends or you last forever, God willing. There's always going to be something expected out of you because it's not an unconditional situation. It's always conditional. And as sad as it is, it's conditional. If you stop doing your part, that love can, that can break. So, so to be avoidant in love, you can be, all about fitness and avoiding love because you probably been through some trauma. You've been through, a previous situation that had kind of scarred you mentally and psychologically. It traumatized you and you don't really want to deal with those kind of expectations because you might think that might happen again or worse or just as bad. So yeah, it is possible to be both of those. But what I can say also to end that off is that when you are real dedicated in fitness and committed to that, you're disciplined in that, you already have the steps necessary to be that same way in love. But it's not the same if being in love and then trying to transition into fitness. So that's something that fitness can really help you in the real world.
Yeah. I mean, because that's something I've always said about just men in general. It's like, okay, like if they have discipline, then they could do this whole love thing. They could do the whole relationship thing. And then, eventually I started dating more people and realized like, it doesn't always transfer over because I've noticed that I feel like there's just like this ideology pipeline that like all fitness people go through where initially they're like, okay, anyone who goes to the gym must be a good partner because they can be consistent at the gym. And then, kind of like what you said, it's like, the more you look into it, it's like, no, the gym is more your relationship with yourself. Are you loyal to yourself? Are you, going to commit? Are you going to hold yourself accountable? Are you going to do all these things? Because it's literally just you. You wake up in the morning and you're like, no matter what happens today, I know I'm going to make it to the gym because that is a priority for me. And I care about myself. I love myself. I'm going to do that. And, relationships, it requires another person. You have to think about the other person and you have to know what they're thinking. You have to understand them. And there's just like a whole bunch more. And until you're a nice, well-oiled machine, it's going to get sticky. So I learned the hard way that it's like, no, it doesn't always transfer over. Like sometimes they just love the gym more than they love you. And that's just the way that it is. They can, they can be consistent with the gym and you can have dates planned and all this stuff. And all of a sudden they forgot. All of a sudden they're busy. Or they're busy with the gym. And this is 100% me projecting whatever bullshit I've been through before. That's completely fine. But I'm just saying, like, yeah, don't be fooled and assume because that man goes to the gym and because he's consistent with all these hunks of metal that he will be consistent with you. Because it's not always true. Sometimes it is. Back to what you said, yeah, it can leak over sometimes. A lot of times, I don't want to say a lot of times, 50-50. Let's keep it 50-50. A guy can be consistent with the gym and like for me, the way that it actually happened was that I was consistent with school and then that leaked over into the gym. And then that leaked over into relationships because I think it's more a matter of like realizing, oh, this view of this, what can we call it? This like aspect of my life can be applied to other things. And I think that once that clicks, everything else starts making sense. Because once I realized like, everyone knows relationships take work, but it's like, what are the steps you're putting in place for the work? And the same way you set up your routine and the same way you set up your split, you should be setting up, stuff with your partner where it's like, you know what? I do legs twice a week. We're going to make sure we have one major date night once a month. And we have maybe like 4 little dates or whatever each month. And it's like, once you start structuring things that way, and it's like, this could also be my neurodivergent mind. Like I want everything to be a list. I want to check shit off. I just want to make sure I have everything in order. But it works. It works because it's very easy. In the same way you can like, you can fall off at the gym. You miss 1 week and it's like, oh my God, fuck, now I feel sloppy and I'm eating bad, all this stuff. That can happen in a relationship where you have one bad week and all of a sudden like that other girl at the gym or the other guy's gym not looking too shabby. And it's because you started fucking up. Whose fault is that? But like...
I do want to add on to that is, when you are really dedicated and disciplined into fitness, how it could really translate into your love life is that, as you said, you love yourself, right? So you learn how to love yourself better, how to treat yourself better, and with that, you can treat the person that you're with better, and you care for them better because now you know what's healthy to put in your body, what's not healthy. You set yourself to a routine, so you know, just as you mentioned, like okay, legs twice a week, we could have a date night once a month. You know, you can kind of schedule and make a routine these different ways so that you're like, you know, you're doing your part in your relationship with your love. Like your partner cannot say you never do this for me, you never do that, because yeah, you do. You know what I mean? Because you know, if you got chest day this day, leg day this day, or upper body this day, you know you got date night this day. You know you got to do XYZ with your girl, your man on this day. And you know, like if you're able to take care of yourself with fitness to get fit, which is the highest form of physical like representation of being fit, of being healthy, is your physique. You can do the same for your partner and for a child, your children. It's just like it's just so much I could get into with that.
Yeah.
But I know we could be here all day
Yeah,
if
you
we get
can.
into
I don't
that.
care.
But like it's just a I don't want to what's the word? Not precursor, but like it's kind of a good tell that somebody who's really dedicated to fitness is gonna be really dedicated to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
If you pick the right one, because I'm not trying to sound like a liar for everything I just said 2 minutes ago. Okay. This is the part where I'm scared that we might start fighting. This is the men versus women section.
All right, let's get into it.
Which do you think has it harder dating in the fitness space, men or women, and why?
Who has it harder in the fitness space dating? I could see it being difficult for both parties,
But
but I'm gonna say men on this one. I'm gonna say men on this one. I'm gonna say men for sure, man, for sure, man. Where my guys at out there, man? Where my guys at? Like we know it's harder for us guys in the simple case that whether you're a fit woman or a regular looking woman, like regular average Jill, you know, like women are always getting sought after. Like it's no matter what, they don't gotta lift a finger. They're already gonna have 13 guys in their DMs just from lifting the finger. Like, come on. Like, and now if you're fit on top of that, and you're in the gym and you have a certain physique to you, and you're showing X amount of skin, you're around a heavily testosterone-filled environment, you're like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're her boyfriend, if you're her fiance, husband, whatever you are to her, you're gonna always deal with all this attention that your woman's gonna get. And that's just in the gym itself. That's not counting outside in the streets or whatever other environment you put yourself in. A fit woman is going to attract a lot of people. Social media is another monster in itself. Like, if you put an attractive man and an attractive woman next to each other, I guarantee you that same fit woman is going to have 10 times more the likes, the comments, the reaction, like everything possible compared to that attractive man. And the ratio of men and women in those comments is going to be like really high with like a lot more men than women. But they also are going to have a lot of support from women too. With men, it's going to be like, you know, yeah, you'll have these women liking and, you know, throwing these little emojis and whatnot. And a couple guys like, oh, looking nice, bro. Like, but you're not going to get as much love as a woman. A woman could just, a fit woman on top of that, post one photo, let go of her phone, come back 5 minutes later, 300 followers, 300 comments, 300 likes and shares. Like, you know what I mean? A guy probably put that down. 5 minutes later, he probably got 5 likes, 2 comments, 1 share. One of those comments probably your aunt. Like
a
looking
DM
good
from
in
a
that
bot.
like, you know what I mean? It's like it's not the same. It's not the same. So I don't feel like women have much to really worry about with a fit man. I mean, yeah, no, they do. They do. I'm not gonna take that away from you. Y'all do have, because you know, women like what look nice too. And women know how women
But women
are
are more bold. Women just go in the DMs. They don't even comment.
They'll do that. They'll skip the comments. They'll go straight to the DM, or they'll do something slick in person. You know, like you women like to move a little like slide, like different.
No, a woman
like,
will like a story before she likes a post any day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Be
I know
sneaky.
that.
Be like-
I know that. I know that's a fact. But like that's really how it goes. You know, so like. That's not to say, again, women don't have anything to worry about. Yeah, of course, you know, like there's women out here that don't care that there's a woman in the picture. They will still be bold enough and try. They'll shoot their shot, if whether they want to take that guy for one time only or for like a relationship, whatever the case might be. But it's still harder for men in dating because there's always, always, always going to be somebody trying to be with your girl. And as a man, you got to hold it down. You got to do your thing. You got to be nice, protective, territorial in a healthy way. Healthy way. All right. The toxicity is a different level. Healthy way. All right. And you know, and if you got the right one, she going to stay right where she's at. She's not going to go anywhere because you're doing your part and she's healthy and you're healthy. No toxicity. And then you got a recipe for success. You just got to know that it comes with the game. If you're a man dating an attractive woman, you got to be ready for that. If you're a woman dating an attractive man, you got to be ready for that. You know what comes with the game. You know what you signed up for.
Yeah.
You know, like attractive people are going to come with attention from people that, you know, you might somehow think is your competition, even though they're not, unless you're with a partner who's,
Yeah.
you know, what's the word? Promiscuous.
Yeah.
Then in that case, you might have to worry. But if you got the right person who's, you know, head is on right, they're faithful, they're loyal, their morals are where they're supposed to be, they fear karma, they fear God, ain't got nothing to worry about for real.
Yeah. I mean, my answer, I mean, I'm agreeing with you on this, what I think is guys. But mine is from like a different standpoint. I'm just thinking more so like, you know, because there are like a lot of, I didn't realize how common this is, but like for guys to try to talk to girls at the gym, like that's apparently a thing. I didn't think that was a thing. I think it's weird. But hence why the men have it harder because I feel like especially now, once again with social media, like, you know, people having their tripods out and recording themselves and stuff. Girls love catching guys looking at them and being like, look at him disrespecting me and objectifying me and da-da-da-da. And it's like, how do you think the conversation would have started? He has to look at you first. And I get it. So there are creeps. There are 100% creeps. Like, I get it. Yeah, you shouldn't be looking at me through the mirror when I'm doing hip thrusts. That's weird. That's really weird. But it's like, you know, if he's just looking at you doing like a back exercise, he's just waiting for you to stop to talk to you. In short, I think men have it harder. And no, I think men have it hard and women make it harder for them. But
I like that. Yeah.
Don't
yes.
fight me on that.
Yeah. Women make it harder and we have it hard. Yeah. I like that.
Okay. So which one, like between men and women, do you think deals with more insecurity?
I'm going to go with women. I'll say women. I'll say women because women, we all know, or we should know, what body muscular dysmorphia is, right? Now, if we throw that in the insecure space, then I think that might go to men more because we're always, myself included, always looking at ourselves in the mirror like, my shoulders need to be bigger, my chest need to be bigger than that. But we don't like, what's the word I'm looking for? We don't like, we don't try to like fixate ourselves on that so much. When women look at themselves, they find themselves, and they'll be the thinnest of thin. They'll be like, I'm fat here. I have fat thighs. I got, you know, my butt's not big enough. Like, my boob's not big. Like, they'll, like, really down talk themselves a lot. And I can't tell you how many times, like, you'll see women that will be more on the attractive side and really look at themselves like they're not. Like, I know your eyes work. Stop playing. Like, I know your eyes work. What's wrong with you? Like, you fat? Where?
Yeah.
Where do you see fat at? I know this one person in particular from one of the gyms I go to. She's already thin enough as is, and she wants to be thinner, believe it or not. I'm like, any thinner than that, you gonna disappear, shorty? Like, why are you trying to keep getting thin? It's because there's, like, women have a lot of insecurity with their own selves. And that's why there's things like bulimia, like anorexia and things like that. Well, it's like they really want to be smaller than what they are. Like, they'll have food problems, like they'll try to starve themselves, force themselves to throw up, all to achieve this thin look when that's not healthy to begin with. You know what I mean? And so I think, like, ladies out there, y'all just need to give yourselves a little bit more grace. You're not fat. You're not, you know, whatever it is that you're telling yourself, you're not that. You're just over exaggerating. If you ask anybody else, they'll tell you it's not what you think. So give yourselves a little bit of grace, a little bit of self-love. You know what I mean? And you're still going to be attracted to some people out there. You know what I mean? So don't think of yourself as ugly, unlovable. Like, some women really exaggerate this. And I'm telling you, I've seen it, and it's like the saddest thing. You just want, like, man, this poor girl right here. Like, man, who traumatized you to even think of yourself like that? What ex-boyfriend was a piece of shit? Like, who made you think this low of yourself?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, so yeah, women I definitely know for a fact come off more insecure about themselves in the fitness space.
Yeah. And I can agree. And it's just, I mean, this starts for all of us like super young, especially when it comes to like makeup and skincare and your hair and all that stuff you're already made to be insecure about from a very young age. But I think when it comes to our bodies, I was thinking about what you said because you mentioned like, oh, like fat thighs or like skinny waist, all this stuff. And it's like, I feel like part of the insecurity is because it's all very subjective. So I feel like some girls aren't even sure the version of themselves that they would like. And that's the thing that keeps changing. Hence why they keep hating themselves. So it's like, you mentioned like fat thighs, like me, like the bigger my thighs, the better. Like for me, that's a dream. But for like, some girl, there's a girl somewhere dying for a fucking thigh gap. And I'm over here like, oh my God, I would hate that. I would never want a thigh gap, and then it's like, it's very easy for girls to get in each other's heads because let's say I didn't know the version of myself that I wanted and I heard that, the next girl wanted a thigh gap. I'm like, fuck, should I want a thigh gap? Like, is that what's in now? Because body types become trends. Like, it's not clothes anymore. It's like, no, big tits are in. Put them in, like fat asses are in. Oh, fat asses aren't in anymore. The Kardashians are taking their implants out. Like, like this is like a whole thing. And I feel like it's really easy for women to get caught up in all these things. Cause there's like, I feel like there's two. And obviously, I know there's like a bunch of different body types, but I feel like there are two that are considered ideal at the moment. And one is like super thick hourglass, and the other one is like super slim model. I feel like those are the two like major body types that women want to achieve. It's either like super skinny beach body, I want to wear my bathing suit and I don't want to worry about anything, or it's like, Fashion Nova, bottle girl, super unattainable, fake. That's another thing because girls want fake bodies naturally.
Oh my goodness.
And it's like, we can't do that. Like, I accept that a long time ago. Like, I look at my hip dips, I'm like, yo, it's fine. Everything's fine. This is, because that's one thing. There was this one girl in my high school. Her body like was so amazing. And she still looks this way. She was like always like super, like her, part of it was genetics, but like regardless, it was natural. She had like a bubble butt and like super shredded abs, and her arms were always sculpted, like amazing. She was always in athletics and stuff. Like her body was banging all the time. And I remember one time I had shown her body to someone else and I was like, oh, like, this girl, she has like, not a dream body for me because there's certain things that I wouldn't want that she has, but like overall, like she has like a crazy nice body. So I showed this to them and, the other person was like, like, you think that's considered, like super attainable, not attainable, like super, like, not, oh my God, what the hell? Like a goal body of any sort. And I was just like, yeah, what's the problem with it? And they were just like, I don't know, like, this looks off, this looks off, this looks off. And the things that they were naming were things that made it real. Like, it was the parts of her body that made her a real human body and not a body that was done. And this person was comparing her body, like the girl was showing them, to like an actually unattainable fake body. And I was like, no, how tainted have our minds gotten that people start thinking that like, whatever bottle girl, whatever you see on the internet is considered like adult woman body. And it's like, no, that one's fake. And I have nothing against fake bodies. But if you want to work out naturally and you want to get whatever physique, stop using those. Those are not worth being your goals or anything because they're fake. You can't do it.
I got a thing against fake bodies.
I saw you shake your head like, listen, she don't speak for both of us.
Listen. Ladies, it's okay to love your natural bodies. Understand me, all right? This is personal training to me talking. Actually, no, this is still Ryan talking. It's okay to love your natural bodies. You don't have to look at a fake body and be like, I want that body. Because 9 times, if not 10 times out of 10, us men gonna like a natural body over a fake body any day. Now, you might say, oh, but these guys are dating girls with BBLs, and those guys are just having a fun time for right now. But if you ask him, does he want to make them a wife and mother to his children? It might have a different answer, maybe not. Everybody has their own mind frame. But from what I know as a man, from what we talk about in like locker rooms and barbershop and, gym and all that, in our masculine spaces, we prefer natural bodies. We actually, and I'll even speak for myself, we don't like BBLs. We really don't. We actually get turned off by that. Like, so while you girls are so caught up on trying to attain an unattainable real body with getting BBLs and all that, we actually don't want you to do that. We rather you go into the gym and get it the nice, hard, good old-fashioned way. And if you do get a BBL, guess what you're going to be at? You still gonna have to come to the gym with me. You still gonna have to see that because you still gotta work out to maintain that. So you're wasting your money, honestly, because either which way you go, natural or fake, you still are gonna be at the gym. So
Yeah.
you're wasting all that money to still be what you could have been doing and saving that same amount of money and not having to be dealing with, oh, is the BBL good or is your health good after that surgery and all this and that you could have avoided by just going to the gym and doing it the natural way. And that's more respectable on top of that.
Listen, if you want it, it doesn't bother me, but I'm also not dating, yeah. So that might be why my perspective's different. Which do you think gets more external validation, men or women?
A woman by far. Woman by far. More external validation? Woman by far. Women get complimented just breathing. Just breathing. Like they, no matter what they do, women will get complimented. Like you could, listen, a woman could post herself on her story, like, you know how y'all be posting food and stuff, like just random things. A man will still find a way to flirt with you somehow, some way. Will give you external validation. Oh my God, how beautiful, que bella. Like, like, bro, she just posted herself with food. Like, come on. Women are always gonna get external validation now in the fitness space all the time. She's always gonna get complimented on her body. Men, we don't get that much external validation. Like, and when we do, it's not nearly to the same extent as women. Like, we might hear a bro like, yo, I'm trying to get like you, bro. I'm trying to look like you. Or a girl might be like, oh, like, a girl who might flirt with you in the DMs or something like that might be like, oh, you was looking good today. I saw you. You so strong. You so this. You so that. So that's kind of like our way of getting external validation, but it's not always to the same level or the same amount, nowhere near as women.
I don't know. I beg to differ on this one. I feel like men do because it's easier to, and this is specifically for the fitness space. I feel like, yes, generally women, will get more compliments and all that stuff, just like men and women in nature, whatever. But I feel like in the fitness space though, like if we want to talk about bodies and stuff, I think men get way more external validation because I feel like with women, because I've thought about this myself, it's difficult for someone, because I feel like for the most part, women are focused on their ass. Like there's no girl that I've ever met who goes hard at the gym who doesn't have minimum 2 leg days in their program. So it's really hard to compliment a woman without being very obvious about what you're complimenting. And it very quickly sounds disrespectful. So I feel like, at least for me, when it comes to external validation, while I was single and, even in a relationship, because like guys don't know if I'm dating anyone, it's like, I feel like most of my validation comes from other women who are like, oh my God, your body's banging. Girls be a little gay all the time. They're like, oh my God, your ass is so fat, da, da, da. Like, you know how many times I've gone up to my friends at the gym and I'd be like, yo, your ass looks crazy in those leggings. Like, yeah, sure. But like from men, never. I feel like men are just a lot more like scared to step up because they're just kind of like, this is going to sound crazy. I'm not going to do that. Or even when I was single and I was like meeting men, they'll be like, oh, like I would see you, but like I wouldn't say anything. And this might be just me because of my face. Because they'll be like, yo, you look scary. Like you don't want to talk to anybody. You look upset the whole time. So I don't know. I feel like with men, like, because I feel like it's so much easier as a woman to compliment a man on his body because I don't know. It just feels like, because it's very, you see it all the time. It's their whole upper half of their body. Like, of course you're going to see it. If you see a man's face, yeah, you're going to see his shoulders. You're going to see his traps. You're going to see his biceps. Like, everything's in the same place. I feel like to compliment a woman, she got to turn around. Like, like, I feel like, unless she's like ripped, it's very different. But for the most part, that is the main asset.
Well, I'll dispute that by saying, no, we don't always just think of looking at their ass. Like, we also can see, well, those who are for real in the fitness space, where that there's more to a woman's physique than just her ass. Like, what's the second most popular muscle group for a woman to work on beside her ass and her lower body, right?
Is it her back?
It's her back,
Yeah.
correct. Women like a nice toned back. So yeah, I mean, you're right when you say you'd have to turn around to see the ass and the back, right? But also a nice set of legs is attractive too. You can see the legs from the front view. You can see a woman's toned arms and slim waist. Nice abdominal area if she works her abs a lot from the front view. You know what I mean? These are things that you can aesthetically create in the gym space. That doesn't have to be the super sought after fat ass in the gym and all that. Like, these are still things that are...
But I feel like it's difficult for a man to comment on the body without that being the woman's first thought, hence why they step back. Like, it doesn't mean that all that stuff isn't attractive. Of course, all that stuff is attractive on a woman. But I think that in terms of like men stepping up and being like, hey, like, yo, your body looks good, it's always difficult because it's always going to come off a certain way depending on how she receives it and how he says it.
I think in any case, for men and women, like it's really depending on how you word what you're trying to say, because it's not always just what you say; it's how you say it. So if you're always just being mindful of the words that come out of your mouth, you shouldn't really have a problem. Like you can make a compliment on a back sound creepy or like exactly what it's meant to be, a compliment. So you could be like, hey, like, oh, like your back looking crazy right now, girl. Like, god damn, like, keep doing your thing. Like you could say something like that, and obviously it won't be taken wrong. Now, if you say some crazy joint, which I ain't gonna say, but like, if you say some crazy joint, then she's gonna take it the wrong way. So it's the same thing. Like, but I think being that I'm a personal trainer, I guess we might be the only kind of men that can get away with compliments like that because we're not, we're not complimenting you in a lustful way. We're complimenting you because we're helping you create the image that you want to have.
Yeah.
Like, it's also, again, on your wordage. Like, you can't just be like, nice ass today. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like women get it less because even like my guy friends at the gym, like there are guys that I'm friends with. They have girlfriends. The girlfriends come to the gym, and I'll say, I'm like, yo, like you getting bigger, and like they'll be like, oh shit, like thanks and whatever, and they feel seen. Yeah. But like I didn't have to say too much. It was literally just like something I noticed. I could say it in passing. It doesn't sound crazy. Now imagine saying something to like a woman. And it's like, it also gets tougher because you don't know the woman's goals. Like one time, one of my friends, he was like, oh shit, you're getting slimmer. And that was not my goal for that time. And I was just like, what? Like, I was like, what do you mean I got slimmer? So I feel like men, at least, and for all I know, maybe I just know more like sensitive men. Maybe more men are just more forward with certain things. But like, I feel like guys, like I said, tend to like be like, whatever I say might not even come off right. So let me just not. Until they know what my goals are and stuff.
I see what you're saying. Like it's harder to compliment women because you don't know how they're gonna take it.
Yeah, because like men, they all want to be huge. That's literally it. And you could tell by how they work out. They all just want to be bigger than the next guy. That's it.
Yep.
Women, it's like, some girls, they want bigger thighs. Some girls, they've just been dying to be small and skinny. Like you just don't know. So you just don't know how to say things. And if you say something looks good, then they're thinking like, what's good to you? Is good to you bigger legs or good to you smaller legs? Because I don't know how you're interpreting good. And I think that whole process, goes through a guy's head before they're like, let me think harder. And that's why I bring it back to, if the girl's just pretty, then yes, this goes back to just all regular women where if like, okay, if you're pretty, a guy's gonna say you're pretty. Women get more validation. But I think fitness-wise, about physiques and stuff, they don't. I think it's a lot easier for a guy too.
Oh, I would, in that case, since you said it like that, then I'll say the same thing. For sure, because us men, it's like anytime anyone talks about our physique, it's more like 9 to 10 times out of 10 gonna be a positive thing toward us. Like before a woman, what you might be thinking is a positive, they could take it completely wrong. Like, and that goes back to the looking thing as we talked about earlier, like with a tripod or just looking at a female doing hip thrusts or RDLs or anything like that. You might be looking at her with the right mind, like the right thoughts in your head. Like, be like, oh, wow, she has great form. Or that's a lot of weight. That's some real strong, heavy weight. Or like, oh, I could probably give her this one tip when she's done with that set. But in her mind, she like, look at this creep looking at me. Why does he keep looking at me? Why is he staring at me? It's like women always seem to take things the wrong way when it comes to men. But us men never take anything a woman says the wrong way when it comes to our physique in that way because we don't think the same way.
And they're also few and far between, like, because women don't just be throwing out, like, compliments like that.
So if a woman compliments you as a man, she dead ass means what she's saying because they don't just go out of nowhere and just compliment you. Like, women are more quiet when it comes to that. Like, they don't really open up their mouths to compliment a man like that because she also don't want to make it seem like she's flirting with this guy.
And she already did all the overthinking for you. So she makes sure that she knows, like, I'm going to say a good thing.
Right. So it's like, just take it at face value. Sometimes it is just what it is. Sometimes some guys be like, is she flirting? Oh, is she trying to holler at me? Sometimes it's just a compliment. The same way how we'd be like, man, we're not looking at you with lustful eyes. We just looking at you because your form is right or your form is wrong or your weight. It's the same thing for both parties. Like it's not everything is going to be lustful with lustful intent behind it.
Yeah. And there's just another little like side note because you mentioned something about form and like a lot of guys have come up to me and be like, yo, like your form is great, whatever. And like, I don't mind that. But one time, like I said, there's a right way and a wrong way to do things. The right way is just like a guy notices like, yo, like, I just noticed your form was crazy. Like I can't do that. I can't myself even do that much weight or whatever with whatever form. I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Like, thanks. But then there was one time, this guy, he records me and I finished my set. And then he shows me the video on his phone. He's like, yo, I could send it to you. He was like, yo, like your form was looking crazy. Now, although you had the same sentiment as the other guy who said that my form was crazy and that whatever, now you have a video of me on your phone. And he's like, oh, but like, do you want it? I could send
That's
it to
crazy.
you. And it's like, yeah, but even if you sent it to me, like you still have it. Like you felt the need. I wouldn't have even minded if he came up to me and was like, yo, like your form looks really good. Like, do you mind if I take a video of you like to show you in case you don't know or whatever? That's fine. I wouldn't have minded that. But like you took a video. I was just like, thanks.
The audacity.
Yeah, like stuff like that. I'm like, that's where lines are crossed. And I feel like for me, I probably like, I'm chill with more because I don't assume the worst of guys. But like, that's far past the line, even for me. So
Not even gonna lie, as long as I've been in this fitness space, I have never heard of that before. So
Really?
that's wild. Like,
oh yeah,
that's wild that you had to deal with that.
no, yeah, and this is the same guy who mind you, he's like probably like 10 years older than me, maybe like 15 years older than me. And one time I was doing hamstring curls. And he comes up to me, he starts chatting, whatever. Like I chat with everybody at the gym. So whatever, just regular chat. This is before the RDL incident with the form. And we're chatting, but it's like kind of strange because you're in a weird position when you're doing hamstring curls. And so if someone's standing looking over you and your face is already generally near their groin area, I just like stopped doing hamstring curls. I was like, so what's up? Like, what are you here for? And you know, we're just chatting. So I'm just waiting for him to say like, oh, can I work in with you or something? Like maybe he wanted this machine. Like, you know, all the basic assumptions that, you know, for as long as you're trying to paint this person out to be a nice guy, you would assume. He's like, no, I didn't even need to use this machine. I'm like, so what are you doing here? Whatever. So I'm just like,
He didn't even need to use it?
no. Like,
Nah, he tweaking.
and we weren't close enough that you could just come up to me and start talking to me. So I'm like, what do you need? And he's like, nothing. I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm gonna get back to my set. But I was like, can you actually like move over there? Cause I just feel weird because your crotch is right there. And he was like, haha, okay, cool. So then I'm doing my set, same guy.
Same guy is
I
crazy.
started doing my set and he says something to the effect, and I think this might be a direct quote, but I hate, you know, saying it is when it's not, but I think it is. He said something like, you know, like if I was like, I don't know what our age gap is, but whatever that number is, he was like, you know, like if I was 20 years younger, like I would have had you. And I was like, what a bold thing to say. That's also
What?
assuming the type of girl that I am. Like, that's crazy.
Hold on. He said if he was 20 years younger,
Yes,
what?
that he would have had me. I was like,
Nah, the boldness on this man is out of this world.
absolutely insane. So
Whose man's is this?
I don't know. And in case you're wondering, you know, how far are you crossing the line? If you do shit like that, you're so far gone. That line has been crossed eons ago.
You down
That
bad,
is
my boy.
crazy.
You down bad.
But he has a reputation. Apparently he does this with everyone. So all that to say, like, yes, you can go to an expensive gym and there will still be creeps. But like, I don't know. There's just less, I think. I feel like they're like a lot more forward. Because I feel like we have like 2 gym like creeps that all the girls know, like, just don't even work out around him because he's just weird. He's going to talk to you. He's strange. But yeah. Next question. So men versus women. Which do you think experiences more silent pressure to stay in shape once in a relationship?
I might have to go 50-50 with that one. It's kind of, because it's definitely, I would say, equally as pressuring for both parties. Yeah, I would say it's kind of split down the middle in a way. Like, it's equally as hard. Men, because, you know, we know that it's not just men that could be unloyal, unfortunately, in this dark world that we live in at night. Women are nowadays even more unfaithful than I'd say ever before, especially with all these options with social media and, you know, like a lot more people, a lot more populated areas now than before. It's just so many different options of people now, right? So when you have these people now being in this trend we call fitness now, right? Like this is now a trend, which is a good trend, actually. It's a very, very positive trend. It's not one of those annoying trends that you might see on TikTok. It's like it's a good for you in your life trend. And I'm glad it's trending, actually. It's just now it's like overpopulated with a bunch of goofy stuff going on. But anyway, so going back to the point is that, some of these women might also have wandering eyes and they might, see a guy that looks as good, if not better than their current partner. And they might have these thoughts, these lustful thoughts that they shouldn't be having and might act on said thoughts. And I feel like as a man, you gotta do your due diligence to like keep yourself in shape and like make sure that you don't have your woman looking nowhere else because you got what she want. Like, oh, she like big arms, big shoulders, big chest. Make sure you got the biggest arms, shoulders, and chest, and whatever the case is, whatever your partner likes, you want to make sure that you get in that too. Because why would you not want that? If you know your person likes this, why would you go away from that? You know what I mean? Like if she likes A, go to A. Don't go to B, C, D, whatever. Like do that. Like it's kind of common sense, right? So make sure you on top of your game, and vice versa for the woman. Like guys, like shiny toys, right? Like women that have certain physiques. And if you don't have that certain physique, you can build it. You know what I mean? You can build the fat ass. You can build nice legs. You can slim your waist. We are sculptors of our own marble, right? And it's funny, I have a chest tat that kind of is talking about that. We are both the marble and the sculptor. So we can sculpt our own marble to be what we want to look like. And we can look like what our partner wants us to look like too. But is it healthy? Is it what you want to look like too? Or is it just what your partner want to look like? That's another discussion. But I feel like it's more pressure for both parties because you both got to be on top of your game. You both got to be on top of like what you look like, your physique, your health and all that. Because how you are building your body is not just the outside, it's the inside too. Because what's going on the inside will affect the outside. And again, there's a lot of immoral people out here. So if you're not on top of your game, and that's not saying everybody you should look at as they're more like if you don't stay on top, they're gonna cheat. That's not the case at all. But just be mindful, like if you got with your person and they're fit already and they get themselves out of shape, that's not what you signed up for. That might sound wrong, that might sound mean, but it kind of is that like they didn't sign up to be with someone who let themselves go. They signed up to be with what they saw when they met you. So if you were, muscular as a man or, you were voluptuous as a woman, like you were curvaceous and then you let yourself go, it's like you made yourself less attractive to your partner. And that's disrespectful, not only to yourself, but to them. So it's kind of like a cold hard truth in that case. And it's funny because I was just talking about that on social media the other day about this exact same topic. It's like, you got to be on top of your game because you're being disrespectful to your partner and yourself if you let yourself go because your partner signed up to be with what you look like when they got with you. So it's like, for me, if I know a girl's dating me and I look the way that I look and I just like, yeah, forget the gym. I don't want the gym no more. And I become skinny. She's not going to look at me the same. She's going to look at guys that look like how I do now or better with the way that she used to look at me. And then she's going to then want guys that look like how I used to already look or better.
Yeah.
And vice versa. So it's like, same way you got to work to make money, you got to work on your body to keep your partner. That's a cold, hard way to look at it, but that's really what it is, what it's like. So
yeah,
it sucks, but it's really like that.
And I'm not opposed to that ideology at all because I made sure that I spoke to my boyfriend at the beginning of our relationship. I was like, so like, you planning to do like the dad bod thing? Like what
dad bod is wild.
Like what we doing here? And
Some girls like that though.
And I know, that's what I'm saying. So like I was just asking just to, just temp check real quick. He was like, no, like I plan on being fit like my entire life. So he has those same unattainable ideologies that I had when my old friend was like, oh, that's not doable. And meanwhile, this is like what he's coming into our relationship with. I'm like, okay, cool. So it makes it less awkward if ever that conversation were to come up where it's like, let's say he is so-called falling off. It's not, let's say, I have an issue with it. I'm like, for the most part, like, I don't think I would. But let's say I were to, it's not a matter of, oh, you're no longer looking good for me. It's more of, you're not, you're not doing enough for your own standards because you explained to me that this is something that you plan to keep up for the rest of your life. So I think that it's important to have that kind of conversation because even though it sounds like, what's the word? Shallow. It's like, it's not. Like, no matter what, like, if you want someone to be your lifelong partner, these are things that come up. These are things that are considered like, toughing it out through marriage. Where it's like, oh, we'll both get big. It's like, do we plan to both get big? Because if we don't, then let's not get big. Like, let's do what we gotta do to, for whatever we want for each other. Because, in the way that you said, like, this is what you sign up for. If you got with somebody when they were like at their lowest of low points and, they only got better from there, it's like,
props to you.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, like, cool. This isn't what I signed up for. It's even better than what I signed up for. But that should be motivation for you to also, because like, some people, they find each other in dark spots and they both start off like at very low points. If your partner is stepping it up and they're becoming like this new and improved version of themselves and they're like getting their shit together, I'm sorry, but you got to do the same. Like, because there's no way that, this person has been getting up early in the morning and going to the gym and changing their diet and do all these things. And you've been laying in bed, just on some my 300-pound life, because like if that person still loves you, and I know you're going to fight me on this, but if that person still loves you, they're still going to like, get you the things you want. If you say you want McDonald's, they're going to bring you McDonald's. And I know you're like, if they really love you, they're not going to bring you McDonald's. I'm just saying, like, when there are times it's a difficult conversation. You like, if you say like, hey babe, can you pick me up such and such food from, my favorite spot or whatever, they're likely going to do it. It's their lunch, whatever. And
not me.
It's difficult. Listen, you have made it very clear that's not you.
Crystal clear.
But I don't know. I feel like those are difficult conversations that aren't difficult if you have them as early as possible. Because it's like because I feel like when time passes, like even for me, like in my relationship, I put on weight because I had started Pilates and I swapped out my upper body days with Pilates because I couldn't do both at the same time because it was like super strenuous on me and stuff. And, I was getting bigger. I was like, why is my back getting bigger? What are these love handles? These are new. I have an additional roll. I was like, I didn't have this many rolls. I was like, what's going on? I was like, ah. And my boyfriend, I don't think he didn't notice. It didn't matter to him. He's like, I love you however which. I'm like, that's amazing. But I don't love me however which way I look. I was like, you should have told me, you should have said something. He was like, yeah, but like, it doesn't, I'm like, I love that you love me. And if anything, that puts me at like so much more ease because I'm not worrying about what you think about me and that you don't have expectations of me, but I have expectations of myself. And I was like, if I couldn't see myself falling off, you were supposed to tell me that. And he was like, okay. And then we set that expectation from here on out where we kind of told each other, like, listen, if you see me falling off, like, would you tell me? And we both agreed that, like, we would tell the other that, like, listen, if I see something, and sometimes we'll do it very subtle, like sometimes.
Gotta be nice.
And the thing is, and everybody's different. I feel like the way that we do things, it might be offensive to someone else, but we've definitely had a situation where, like, we're looking at ourselves in the mirror and when we notice, like, he gained weight and I gained weight. So I forget if it was me or him. Because I don't know if I was thinking about it and he did it or he was thinking about it and I did it. We were like, oh, like, let's take a before picture. And, a few months from now, like, we'll check in again because we're going to lock in over the next 6 months. And, like, it wasn't even, I don't know. It was a very subtle thing. Because I'm like, to say that we're taking a before picture means that we are not in a good spot right now. But that was a very subtle way to just push both of us and be like, okay, we're going to check in a few months and we are going to look better than we do right now. It doesn't mean, look a certain way. It doesn't mean I want you to be slimmer. It doesn't mean I want you to be thicker. It doesn't mean I want you to be more muscular. None of that. It just meant like, we should look better later than we do right now. And it was like, okay.
It's a nice way to put it.
Yeah. I was like, look at us. I was like, that was a healthy way to put it. Because honestly, as much as I want him to tell me about myself, I also don't want him to say like, babe, you getting a little.
Yo, that is like such a hard thing to get across with a woman. Like, it's like you don't know how you want to word it. It's like you don't want to hurt her feelings.
Especially with this body positivity. She's like, I love myself. Like, all right, I get it. But also, like, you be breathing really heavy when you go up the stairs. Like,
Yeah, I'm hearing you breathing through the phone.
Yeah.
Like, come on. You sound like you just went up a flight of stairs and you didn't.
Yeah, you was just laying in bed. Like,
how is that possible?
We sound like bullies, but I swear it's from a place of love.
Definitely out of place of love. Because you should never make your partner feel like shit. Let's get that out the way. You should never make them feel like shit. Sometimes you do have to give them a little bit of tough love for them to get the ball rolling. You know what I mean? And I love that before picture being a nice little subtle Trojan horse, way in. So you can, get them to kind of get with the program, whether they realize it or not. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because you always want to inspire and improve your person if they're falling out of, what they look like, whether if they're in fitness or not in fitness, if they just want to lose or gain weight, whatever the case is, help them. You know what I mean? Like help them, especially if you know what you're doing. That's like what we mentioned earlier with discipline, with fitness, you can learn how to love better. It's like this is the time to shine. You know what I'm saying? This is where you get on that field and you go to work. Like, I bet, babe. So you're losing weight or gaining weight, right? Let's do this. Let's start eating this way. Let's start going to the gym together. Let's start doing these things together. Let's cut out these drinks and these snacks and let's stop going out so much and eating these foods that we don't know what they're cooking it with, that's gaining weight and a lot of sodium and puffing up our faces and bodies, making us look rounder than what we are.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, instead of doing all that stuff, let's do it this way, the healthier way. You know what I mean? And then if you kind of word things like that, where it doesn't even have to mention body at all, you'll get the
Yeah.
result you want in time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's just the
gotta
way
be
you go
patient.
about stuff.
That's another part.
And also, I do want to mention too, like with getting out and into shape, I'm sure, like, you've seen relationships that have people that these couples look like they're at that same level of attractiveness more often than you see a high contrast, like real attractive and real unattractive.
Yeah.
You usually see some people around the same level of attractiveness being together. The same could be said with, like, as I believe we mentioned earlier, with bodies, right? With fitness bodies, with physiques. Like-minded people like-minded people, right? The same could be said with bodies. So if one person is getting more into shape, the same way people's types can change and what they like in a woman or what they like in a man, the same goes with, fitness. Like if you see your own body changing, you're going to start to look at things within and externally differently. So you might like a certain type only because you were that certain type. Like if you weren't in shape and you were dealing with somebody in shape, it's because you also felt that resonation that you weren't fit to subconsciously and you found attraction in them. But once you became attractive, you now start to look at that as not so attractive and start looking at people who look like you as attractive, because that's a psychological thing. You
Yeah.
go for what you look like, what you feel you resonate with, right? So if your partner's getting into more shape than you should have it in you to want to be at that too. You guys want to grow at the same level, the same pace, right? Don't be underneath the standards in which your partner is setting for themselves or for you, because now that's not going to help anybody in this situation.
Yeah. And I think even like you said a whole bunch of things, so I'm going to cover as much as I can. But I think it's also just about like knowing your partner too, because even then, like the way that me and my boyfriend did it, like him saying like, oh, let's take a before picture. That was very subtle. A stupid person or someone who's not overthinking is not going to think anything of that. Me, I exaggerate. I heard that and I said, oh, so I need to make a difference. Like I was like, we need to see, this got to be visible. We got to see whatever change this is. And, but it was also a good point to bring it up because it was like he had just gotten off of ACL surgery. So like he wasn't at the gym. He couldn't be at the gym for like, 2 to 3 months. And, he was not necessarily slacking, but he was at a point that he couldn't do much about his knee. And for me, it was just a mix of me drinking a lot of soda. Soda, honestly, was the thing that kept me as puffy and big as I was. Don't fucking start. But yeah, so like him saying that, I was like, okay, cool. Like this makes sense. And like my feelings weren't hurt. I was just like, this is a together thing. And that leads me to my next point. You make it something that you guys are doing together in the same way that in a relationship, like let's say when finances get tough, you guys say like, we're not going to splurge on this. We're not going to buy this. Like it's very easy to not do something. And that's why, it's easy to be a together thing for that. But when it's the reverse and it's like, okay, we both have to do something, that actions need to be made. That's when it's like, because there will be moments that you're like, why the fuck am I doing this? I'm only doing this to help you. And it's like, okay, well, do you love that person enough to help that person? Like, that's when that kind of stuff shows. And like you said, it's when you start putting in the work. Because it's like, You know, working out is not fun. Like people who work out, we don't do it because, I mean, yes, there's like a certain high you get, but it's because of the result. But like in the moment, I'm not doing Bulgarians like I'm having such a great time. No, I'm not. And when you're doing it to help your partner, when you're doing it as an effort to like better one another, like you really have to truly love your person enough to think about them and let that be more than enough reason for you to keep going. So, you know, a lot of like things can get really ugly when it comes to bodies and physiques and all that in relationships. But I think it's something worth speaking about.
I might be the only person that doesn't mind Bulgarian split squats.
Oh, look at me. I'm Ryan. I don't give a fuck about Bulgarian
I like working. I have fun. It's fun for me.
All right. But please, I don't want to get into this with you. I don't even want to talk to you right now. Anyways, next question. What do you think actually causes the most conflict in relationships when you're a so-called gym rat?
Is the partner also a gym rat or no?
We could, let's say yes.
Okay,
Because it doesn't mean you guys perceive things the same way, even if they do go to the gym.
Because I have answers for two different situations, right?
Then give both, honestly. Go ahead.
So the person is not a gym rat, and you are. One of the biggest obstacles you can face is the insecurity from your partner. Now I'm speaking from the perspective of a man, because obviously I'm a man. I can't speak on how women feel on that. I can only say what I think they might feel, but for what us men feel is we often face this like insecure trust issue kind of thing with our woman who is not particularly of the fitness space or not heavily involved in it like we are. They'll think that our interactions with women in the gym are something flirtatious, something that's lustful, something that's like gonna lead to one thing and after the next thing, or that if we like one of their gym photos, that's us liking a thirst trap photo, not knowing that there is a difference. If you didn't know, now you know. There's a difference between thirst trap photos and just gym result, like physique result photos. Not everything that shows a bit of skin is like a lustful thirst trap. It's two different things. And if you are in the fitness space, you know what I'm talking about. It's two different things. It's the same way how, you girls might say like, you can be, if you're in bra and panties and somebody sees like, oh my God, oh my God. Mm-hmm. But if you're in the beach, in the bathing suit, yeah. Like not a problem, right?
Yeah.
It's two different things.
Nah, I mean, just to clarify, just the whole like workout progress versus thirst trap. Like even I know as a woman, I know that because I post on my Missing the Sunset page, I post a daily check-in every day of me at the gym. I am very well aware that there are some pictures that are a lot more suggestive than others. And
that's true.
Like even me, I post for myself, and I know a lot of people are just like, yeah, whenever girls say that, I'm like, yeah, but I like how I look and I'm proud of what I got. But I am also very aware of the likes that come into my stories on the ones where I'm like facing forward with like, my arm doing a little strongman thing or whatever and showing my core and even like slightly tilted to the side, still not an issue, versus the ones where I have like, you girls know the gym pose, the one where like, your tricep is flexed and you're twisted and everything's contorted in the way that makes everything look just right. I take note of who likes which ones. And I know which ones are the dudes who are preying on my page, who are looking for all the wrong reasons, and which ones are just like, nah, like good for you, good shit. And then obviously I feel like the one that you should never be getting mad at your partner for liking, because I feel like this makes sense, is like the progress ones from like months where it's like, yo, this was me a year ago and this is me now. Right. And you notice a stark difference. Like, come on, like you can't get mad at your man for liking something like that. And it's like, to each their own. Some girls, I've met a lot of girls who are like, don't like women's posts ever. That's very different. I'm not that kind of girl. I can't speak for y'all. I
can't stand that.
But
listen, I am all for transformation photos and update photos. I'm all for that. Like I've been a personal trainer for like over half a decade. Like I've been in the fitness space for more than a decade. I have transformed myself from looking like a stick to what I look like now and when I was bigger. So that resonates with me. So I'm all for when somebody goes from small to big or big to small. I'm always going to show love and like that because I'm one of those stories too. You know, so it's like I'm not trying to deal with, somebody who is, if I like a fitness transformation photo and I'm getting yelled at for that, like, I also made myself transform, right? I am also a fitness transformation photo person, right? I am doing this out of a sign of support, like respect, like, yo, you really did that. Like, bro or girl, like, you really did that thing. Like, you changed your life. We are part of those percentage of people that change ourselves from looking one way to looking another way. So I'm liking out of respect, out of support, out of like, yo, like, I resonate with you. It's not like, oh my God, look at this girl right here. Like, oh, she got a nice this and that. It ain't even like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the thing, like, you know, that makes it like an obstacle. Being a gym rat is like people who aren't in that space or heavily involved in the space like you are, they don't understand certain things that only gym rats would understand. They just don't have the same perspective that we would on that. Like, it's like gym people understand gym people.
Yeah.
Like athletes, it's like I'm an athlete, right? I play football, for those who know, right? It's like in our world, it's the same thing. We have us athletes and we have what we call JAGs, just a guy. Or for the girl sports, just a girl, right? If you're just a guy, you're the average Joe and Joe. It's like you don't understand what it's like in the athlete world because you're a JAG. Like, you're not an athlete. You don't know what it's like to wake up 4 or 5 in the morning, get 6 a.m. morning runs or morning lifts and all that. You got practice, you got class, you got meetings, you got practice, you got study hall, you got, you know, night lifts, you got XYZ. A JAG will never understand that because they're not part of that. And if you're like, oh, babe, I got to go to practice, I got to go to a thing, like, a regular person not in that world is not going to understand. They're going to be like, why are you always so busy? Why are you always so tired? Why are you always this? Why are you always that? You'd understand if you was a part of this lifestyle.
Yeah.
So the same thing in the gym life. Like, you won't understand why we do what we do unless you're a part of it. So that's really the biggest thing that we face in this world from people who aren't necessarily in the world or as heavily in the world.
Mm-hmm. And then if you're dating someone who is, what is...
Now, if you're dating somebody who is a gym rat with you, the big obstacles that you can face, that's interesting because I wouldn't say there's too many obstacles, not to say that there aren't, but there are like probably a few, not nearly as many as if you weren't with a gym rat. But I mean, it could be, maybe some silent competition. Like, if your gym rat girl or man sees you interacting with another gym rat girl or man, your partner might get into some competition. Like, oh, like if it's a girl, like, oh, does she have a better back than me, a better ass than me, better like whatever. And the same could be with the regular girl too. But since when you're in fitness, you're always comparing your body with how you used to look and with someone else, no matter what. That's always in your mind. It's always a comparison, whether you're loud or quiet about it. It's always a comparison.
Whether it's positive or negative, you could be like, oh, I want to look like this girl, and that could be a positive thing. Or it's just like, even me, I have very toxic thoughts sometimes. And I think about the worst thing at all times. I like my father. My father's very paranoid. And I always think, like, let's say there's a girl who doesn't like me at my gym. I make sure that I could take her if worse were to come to her.
That's how it's meant think in real life, in everything.
Yeah.
I could take his ass. Oh, I could take his ass for sure. I'll beat his ass.
So I agree. Even like, let's say my boyfriend, like, all right. Let's say my boyfriend had like a female friend at the gym or whatever, and they could work out together. Cool. But if I ever met her, I'd be like, I'll be sizing her up and everything. Obviously not to her. I'd be like, hey, hi, how are you? But I will make sure that if there's anything that I feel like I'm lacking because of her, I'll work on it and I'll be better.
There's always if you don't know, you're going to know now. There's always an invisible gym beef. And I was just talking about this with my boy yesterday in the gym. There's always some kind of gym beef. And it's like, it's never real beef. It's just you look at each other and you're just like, you give a face like, I don't like you. And it might look like, and it's half the time or most of the time, there's really never been a problem. There's never really a problem. It's like you just don't like that person because you just don't like that person. Or they don't like you just to not like you. Now, with me, I never really been one to have beef with people, but many people have had this beef with me For
Yeah, I
whatever
would if
reason,
I was
like,
a guy, 100%.
like, huh?
I said I would if I was a guy, 100%.
Yeah, you know, like I've always, especially being a personal trainer, we deal with, oh, look at this guy with his blonde locks. Look at this guy with all these female clients. Look at this guy, oh, who he think he is lifting all this weight. He think he run the gym. Like, there's always some people with this like made up gym beef, and it's like as soon as you guys actually meet, it's a world of a difference. It's like all of a sudden y'all buddy now. Oh, yo, like we should get a lifting sometime, bro. Like, man, I know you was hating on me for like the past 6 months, but I bet, cool. Like, we gon'
Nah, I've
we gonna
been
be
the
cool
hater.
now.
I had invisible gym beef with this one guy. Oh my god, it's so funny you bring this up because I didn't realize there's a word for it. There's 100% a word for it. But it was this one dude. He's always hogging the cables, and I feel like every time I need the cables for kickbacks, he's on them like for 4 sets longer than he needs to be. And it always felt intentional because he would always make eye contact, and it was always just like, I feel like he would see me wait, and it was just like pre-workout for him. Like he would just see me there, like, oh, this bitch is in for something. I'm gonna be on this shit for 6 more sets.
Petty.
And then one time I was using something that he needed. He came up to me. He was like, it was something for legs. This dude was like big on legs himself. So I was on a machine or something. I forget what it was, and he had asked me if he could work in with me. And in that, he was like, we're talking between sets, and he's telling me, he was like, like, I always see you here, like, you go so hard for your legs and stuff. Like, it's really admirable, blah, blah. Like, you probably do more than, a lot of the girls who come during this time. He was like, because I see you here at the same time every day. I'm like, so you be seeing me. Cool. And you're admiring me. And you're like big on legs yourself. Once again, this compliment didn't come off weird because he was also like big on legs too. So it's like, wasn't like strange because he always, he does the same weight as me on a leg press, which is 450 plus the weight of the machine. And he used to be like, yo, like you do impressive stuff. Da, 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 da. And I was like, yeah, thanks. And after that, I say hi. We do our little nod. What's up? If ever he sees that, like, I need an attachment on the wire on the cables, and I don't know where it is, he'll be like, "Oh, you're looking for this one?" And I'm like, "Nice."
Sign of respect.
But the beef was just like, for what? It was. He didn't even know it was happening, and I'm just like, I'm sure there's a bunch of people in my gym who have beef with me, and I have no idea it's happening.
If you don't know if you have gym beef or not,
You do.
you'll probably do. Probably do.
Okay, so what boundaries are non-negotiable with your lifestyle if you want a healthy relationship?
Non-negotiables for me in a healthy relationship when it comes to this fitness space, I'm assuming, yeah, in the fitness space, it's like you gotta understand that with my job, I interact with women on a daily basis. I have majority of my clients are women. Women hire us, male trainers. They trust us male trainers more than female trainers. I look a certain way, so I am going to get some kind of attention as well on top of that. And I have, female friends in the gym. Well, I won't say friends, but like acquaintances in the gym. Like, those high buys or like small talks and all that. Coworkers there's female coworkers as well. Like, I'm not going to ignore them just because they're females. Like, come on, we're grown adults now. Like, you should be able to control yourself. And I shouldn't have to be wondering if I'm going to get in trouble for talking to a female. Like, I feel like that's super childish. I can't have that insecurity around. Like, listen, I'm not mad if you talking to a man so long as you know, like, that you're with me. I'm not going to have a problem with it as long as I don't feel I have to have a problem with it. Like, if you know that you got a man, you talk to this person, like, knowing that reminding yourself that you have a man. You're not going to talk flirtatiously. You're not going to talk, promiscuously. You're not going to give no hints that you could be or are available or that you're interested. Like, it's just nothing but platonic. We're grown enough, like, some people have it in their minds that your person, when you're in the dating stage, right, when you're still boyfriend and girlfriend, that you're forever going to just only talk to each other of the opposite sex, barring family. It's like, listen, there's married couples out here that talk to the opposite sex all the time, and there's never an issue because they're married and they know like you signed up to be with this person till death do y'all part. And y'all know like the loyalty's been established, the faithfulness, the trust has been established, all that. Because why else would you get married if you didn't have that? So, granted, we're not gonna bring in the unfaithfulness and all that because that's not what this is about. Um, in that case, right? But you just cannot be coming in a relationship with insecure, untrusting energy because that's just going to create a potential downfall later on or right then and there.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to deal with the fact that they feel like they're in prison. Like you cannot like talk to someone of the opposite sex. Sometimes having female friends or acquaintances is good energy. You need a balance with testosterone and estrogen. Same way girls can't always be just friends with girls. Like a healthy mix of testosterone energy in there is cool. Like
Yeah.
it's nice to get a female first man. It's nice to get a female perspective on certain things. And there's some topics, some things that you want to hear that some kind of answers or, perspective on something that a woman could give you on differently than what a man could give you on. It's healthy, balanced energy. You know your boys ain't gonna tell you certain things because they're having their masculine, like bravado and like this, you know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna get what you want to know from some guys, but you can find out from some girls and vice versa with women, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah.
Like there's some things you might want from a male perspective that a woman's not gonna give you because of how a woman is. Like you want to hear different sides of things, different pieces of advice. Like, for example, like you might want to talk to a female friend like, hey, how can I be better in my relationship? Like, what do you girls need when it comes to this? A man's not going to know that. A female will know that, though. So,
Yeah.
like female energy can help you out in your own relationship.
No, I've had so many situations where my guy friends talk to me and they'll be on some like, they'll tell me like the first 3 sentences of something that happened with their girl and I could tell them everything that happened after. They're like, how'd you know that? And I'm like, I'm a woman. I was like, this is all normal. Like, this is how women act.
Exactly.
And they're like, I don't even understand how she could think that way. And I'm like, let me tell you exactly why she thought everything that she thought. I said, you know that post that you posted? This is how she saw it. And he's like, that's not what I said. Nah,
Exactly.
I'm telling you how she saw the story.
Exactly.
And he's like, huh? Or like one time, one of my friends, he was in a talking stage with a girl and they're like, things weren't super serious, but he was like, yo, like she started acting funny after I posted on this day. And he had posted 8 stories on that day. And I was like, send me all the stories you posted that day. And I'm going to tell you which one got her mad. And there were like a few memes in there or whatever. There was like a few pictures of him, but there was one of him at a Korean barbecue spot. And the picture was taken of him from across the table. And I was like, that's the one that got her mad. And he was like, why? I was like, because who took the picture? And he was like, yo, I was out with one of my boys. I said, yes. But I was like, that very much could also have been a woman who took the picture. And how would she know? And he's like, yeah, but she want me to explain it to her because then I look sus. I was like, you just should have never posted the picture. Or you should have made it very clear who you went out with beforehand so that if any pictures got posted, she knew who took it. And he was like, are you being fucking I said, yep. I was like, I'm being so serious. I was like, that's exactly what got her mad. And then eventually he found out that's exactly what got her mad. All right, so which do you think is the real trust builder? This is my favorite one. Transparency or consistency? Both are necessary, but which one?
Both are absolutely
Yeah.
necessary. Transparency and consistency. So I'm going to say this. Transparency starts the trust. Consistency builds the trust. That's why it's necessary. If you're transparent and you're always transparent, there's no way that trust can be broken. And it's important for both parties to always be transparent and consistently that. Because once you take your foot off the gas pedal, that's going to give your partner like, hold on, yellow light or red light. Like, hold on, what's going on right here? Like, why are you not as transparent as you always were? Why you kind of stop? Why does it feel like I'm in the dark on certain things? Like, I don't want to not trust you. I want to be able to trust you. So like, keep being the way you've always been. Be transparent with me. What's going on? Talk to me. Like, why I feel like I'm in the dark.
Yeah.
Like communicate. Communication is a huge thing. And some people, like sometimes I will over communicate. I will be overly transparent. Especially in the beginning of a relationship, because I know in the beginning of a relationship, trust is being like discovered, is being is being earned, right? You don't just start off being 100% trusted. Like your new partner is still like trying to figure you out, still trying to see like, in the first few months or whatever, the first few weeks, like, can he or she be trusted? Like, you always want to put your best foot forward, like, oh, rip, like, yeah, you can. Like, you being consistently transparent, like, you letting them know you're reassuring, sometimes over reassuring, because some people, there's a lot of women that need that extra reassurance, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with reassuring your partner, and vice versa. And then as you get more, longer into your relationship, that transparency doesn't need to be as consistent as it was in the beginning, because now you already formulated that trust
And certain things
factor.
are already understood.
Yes,
Yeah.
like what's understood don't always got to be explained. Like, if I'm telling you in the beginning of a relationship, hey, I'm gonna be with so and so at so and so spot every week at this time, this day, doing whatever, like, or the gym, right? I'm gonna be with so and so at the gym every day, every weekday at like 12, 1 p.m., whatever, random time. At some point, I shouldn't have to tell you what I'm doing at that time,
Yeah.
at
If
that
you
place
miss a
with that
call
person.
during that time on that day
Like,
of the week,
yeah, you know what I'm doing at this point. So it's not about needing to continue to be transparent or consistent with it. It's like you should just know already. Like, it's like, hey, in the beginning when you knowing somebody, right? Oh, like, yeah, I do this for a living. I work this job. I work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, whatever the case is, whatever the case. My off day is Wednesday. I like to go to the gym at this time. If you trying to holler at me at Wednesday at that time or whatever weekday at a certain time and I don't answer, you know what I'm doing, because I already made sure I communicate that to you. I shouldn't have to communicate every single day. Yeah, I work this job from this time to this time. I'm free this every day though.
yeah.
Like, come on. Like, some people are just like, they're overdoing it now. They're just that insecure. They're just that lacking of trust. Like, that's not a problem that you need to deal with. It's what they need to deal with.
Yeah.
So that's my thing on that. But that's my answer for real. Consistency is what builds the trust, but transparency is what creates the trust.
Do you think that, over the years of being in relationships, being in the fitness space and all that good stuff, that love has softened you or made you more disciplined? And you can interpret this however which way you want, like softened and disciplined at the gym, softened or disciplined, in ways of the heart, whichever way.
Say that one more time.
Has love
Love
softened,
softened you,
or made you more disciplined?
made you more disciplined. Love definitely softens you. That's a fact. That's a fact. That you can't dispute that. Love makes you softer for the right people. Yeah, love definitely makes you softer. Like, and you said discipline. It definitely makes you both. Because discipline, when you are disciplined in something, oftentimes it's because you love it, right? Because, like, if you are disciplined with the gym, it's because you love the gym. If you're disciplined with self upkeep, it's because you love yourself. If you're disciplined with watching a show every time it comes on, it's because you love the show. Like, you don't do anything, you're not always doing something out of discipline because you don't love it. Now, when it comes to a person or animals or anything like that, love makes you soft because love is soft. Like, yeah, there's tough love too. That's a form of love. But when you think of love and when you are acting upon love, there's a softness that comes with that. And it's a beautiful thing, honestly. It really is a beautiful thing. When you think about it, like, love really does soften you. No matter how hard you are as a man or a woman, like, love is going to soften you up no matter what, no matter which way you look at it. Some people might call it a weakness, and no, it's not. Love is actually a strong thing. It's actually a powerful thing depending on how you use it. And it does make you disciplined because you want to keep that love. You don't want to lose that love. So if you're soft now because of love, you got to be disciplined in order to keep it, because love can be fleeting. Now, unconditional love is a different thing. But no matter what kind of love, you still got to nurture it, right? Because unconditional love is like a family member. You're going to unconditionally love them, but you can still love them from afar,
Yeah.
right? because they weren't disciplined enough to nurture it. So if you're disciplined enough to nurture your love and you're in your softness of being love, whether you in love or love someone or something, it's going to require that from both parties in order for that to even work. Now, you can love someone or something and it's a one-sided thing, but that just speaks more on you, on what kind of heart you possess if you're soft and disciplined with it. But yeah, that's what I say. How now love has softened me for sure. Without love, you're gonna be a hard, cruel, dark-minded person. Cause like, come on now.
Yeah.
And when you're mature enough, when you're grown enough to utilize love and the discipline that love comes with, I think everyone and everything in your circle is going to feel it and is going to appreciate it. So I would say that love has softened and disciplined me in a lot of things, actually.
I have no notes. That was great. I have nothing I could add that would like not be a repetition of what you said.
I'm
We
glad
love
that
love.
you know, love. You feel me? Love. I'm all for it.
Okay, so since that was the last question, do you have any last words for anybody watching? Any kind of advice or anything having to do with anything we talked about, or anything that you, if they took away anything from this episode that you hope that they remember?
Spoke about a lot, so I would say be about the fitness life. Be on top of your game. Be in unison with your partner. Get them into fitness if they're not already. A fit couple that lives together usually stays together, right? So be a healthy power couple, a fit couple, and be trustful. Be secure within each other. Keep love at the forefront. Be very disciplined. Nurture each other. As the same way you nurture your bodies, nurture each other. And just be, have multiple different perspectives. Don't be one-track minded, and understand that you can trust your person. If you have the right person, you should be able to trust them the same way you want them to trust you. So if you are loving them or trying to love them and you want discipline to come with that, you want to be soft with them, you got to make sure you're doing your part too. So have fun with that, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, thank you for coming on.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And if the platform that you're listening on allows you to do so, give me 5 stars, please. You can find me on TikTok at Missing the Sunset 13. You can find me on Instagram, Missing the Sunset. And you can obviously find the podcast, Save It to My App, on Instagram and all that good stuff. Do you want to plug your Instagram? This is my first time doing this. I never do this.
You can follow me at Ryan Alessandro with 3 O's. So ALESSANDR and 3 O's. So Ryan Alessandro is my Instagram handle.
I'm corny. I was going to be like Ryan Alessandro. Because that's every
That's
time it
literally what
comes
it
up,
is.
that's how I see it.
That's how I made it. That's exactly how I made it.
But yeah, so with all that said, keep watching, keep listening, all that good stuff. I love you guys, and I will see you guys next week.